Hi there, this video is devoted to cleaning 78 RPM records, and it's really extremely simple. All you have to do is to buy a professional disc cleaning machine such as the Keith Monk's machine, which will do vinyl. In fact, it's probably orientated to cleaning vinyl, but it has add-ons to do 78s, and your problems are over. There's only one slight drawback: they're rather expensive. I wish I had one, but can't afford it. So we have to use a more prosaic method. Yes, our procedure is very elementary, and it involves soap and water. Not a lot of soap, only a little bit, but we're going to demonstrate it with these records which I bought on Sunday, last Sunday, a few days ago, at the National Vintage Communication Fair near Birmingham, and it's the 1925 early electric recording of the Debussy String Quartet, and it wasn't very expensive. I only paid £4 for it. It's on 7 12-inch or 30cm sides, and it's in extremely good condition. One or two of the records are slightly dished, but that shouldn't be a problem. But what is a problem, yes, the discs have hardly been played, but you see here we've got these patches going past, and that is simply dirt that's accumulated since 1925, which is 80 some odd years ago. And so what happens if we play it as it is at the moment? Well, that sounds pretty bad. Is there any way of recovering anything out of this? I mean, will cleaning materially improve the reproduction? Well, I mean, we can but try, and we will now go out of our workshop into the kitchen and clean up these records. Well, here we have a fairly rudimentary kitchen, but it possesses this flat area, which is very good, and we also have some old tea towels here, which is the sort of thing we use in our process, and we take a fairly thick one and spread it here as the base on which to dry the cleaned record. We also have a sink full of clean water. You can make it a little bit tepid for comfort, but not too hot, of course. And then over here we have a dish, and into that dish, yes, we just put a very small quantity of washing up liquid. That would be more than enough. Yes, at one time I wouldn't use soap on records because I was afraid of the wetting properties of the soap causing water to soak in to the microstructure of the record and subsequently damage it. But the point is that if you are trying to clean a record to transfer it, then the transfer is the new life of the record. So to some extent, the original record, even if it deteriorates a little bit later, it's a matter of balance, you see, between the two thorny choices. So we can get going. All we need now is a brush. And this sort of brush, which are available very cheaply in market stalls and supermarkets, should have natural bristles, but of course they don't make those much anymore. These have actually got synthetic plastic bristles, but they're very thin, and they will follow the groove around the record. You'll feel it when we come to clean it. Brushes with large, thick plastic bristles, of course, by definition, aren't so good. We take the record, dip the brush into the soap solution and go round it like so. Working deftly but assiduously, we go round the grooves. In the case of these HMVs, you can go on the label, that doesn't hurt. There are some records, of course, which have water sensitive labels, which is a complication. And so we've done it quite quickly, and there we are. And we now wash it off by immersion in this sink, and we can just rub our hand over the surface to help get rid of the foam. And one thing, it's much better than just running it under the tap. And one thing you'll notice, if I show you the record now, it's thrown off the water. The water, you see, it isn't coated in a continuous coat of water. It's thrown it off. And we now place it on this towel and immediately dry off the water like so, the surplus water. Turn it over, and so. There isn't too much water sticking to the record, and we're hoping that most of the dirt will have gone off while it was totally immersed in water, but it wasn't immersed for very long. All that then remains is to dry off the record using another towel. This one can be a little bit thicker, you know, a discarded hand towel, or indeed one bought especially for the purpose, and we dry it off, and yes, look, it's coming up. Yes, it really does look quite nice now. And now, of course, we just simply press on. We've got 4 records to do, and well, it's rather repetitive, really. It can become quite a drudge, but it's all in the interest of restoring and enabling us to hear the performance of the Virtuoso String Quartet, which was recorded, I think, in around October, late 1925, when, of course, electrical recording had only been in use in this country for, you know, 6 months or so. And look how the record throws off the water. It isn't saturated, but I think we've thrown away most of the dirt, and the record itself is not saturated or particularly harmed in any way by this process. So, what does the record, the same passage, sound like now? Well, I'm sure you'll agree that sounds better already. Oh, there's still crackle and the odd clicks. Of course there are, because that's what HMV records are like nowadays. They may have been better in 80 years ago, but we have no way, as far as I know, of quantifying that. But we've certainly got a much better basis for a kind of transfer than we had before, and so that simple way of cleaning 78s is it's very simple and cheap, but also quite effective. And what we'll now do in another part of the video is to actually transfer the whole work and put it up as a separate video.